Hello, it's me, Jan de Bont.
He was Jan de Bont's been on the project
Jan de
from the
Bont.
start.
I want the
You're
world
not
to
bringing them
know.
in.
Jan de Bont will go. I'm Jan de Bont. I want the world to
If
know.
you give me one,
Jan de Bont will go.
This is Jan de Bont's show.
There's a Jan de Bont around.
I think singing "I'm Coming Up."
I'm Jan de Bont.
Jan de Bont, thank you so much for being on
Hey,
the podcast.
thank you, guys.
Don't
Listen.
fire me.
If you sing this out, that was probably the closest we'll come to an ending for this concept.
I'm Jan de Bont. I was born in the 22nd of October on 1943. I'm a Dutch cinematographer, widely known for directing Speed and Twister. You know my work. Hunt for Red October, great one. Basic Instinct. You know me, and I know you. I'm
Here
Jan de
we
Bont.
go. Here we go.
No, I always miss it, you know?
I can't tell if this is an instrumental or not.
No, it's not. She's coming.
Here we
Out.
go.
This is a 1 minute.
This one goes out to my second wife, Trish Reeves. I'm Jan de Bont. I want the world to know where Jan de Bont will go. I'm Jan de Bont. I want the world to know where Jan de Bont will go. Jan de Bont.
Alright, I want more Jan de Bont facts in the verses.
Hey, I was serving as a cinematographer for the 1981 film Raw. I experienced an on-set injury during filming, where a lion lifted my scalp and required 220 stitches. I've directed.
And
I'm Jan de Bont. I want the world to know where Jan de Bont will go. Hey. I'm Jan de Bont. Hey, yes I am. I want the world to know. Jan de Bont will show. I'm Jan de Bont
This is a 5-minute song.
to know. Jan de Bont is grow.
It's grow.
I'm Jan de Bont. I want the world to know. Jan de Bont is in escrow. Yeah. I was married to Dutch actress Monique van de Ven. But didn't work out, eh? But I've got 2 children from my second marriage, Trish Reeves. Yeah. She had a small part in Speed 2. Well, you know how that went. I've directed Speed 2, The Haunting, Equilibrium.
5, 6.
I'm Jan de Bont. The last movie I made was Lara Croft Tomb Raid, The Cradle of Life. I'm Jan de Bont. I want the world to know, not to let Jan de Bont show. Yeah. I'm Jan de Bont. I had a first wife. Now I've got a second wife. Jan de Bont. I'm Jan de Bont. Speed 2 was a critical failure, but I didn't let it get me down.
Here we go.
I'm Jan de Bont. Yeah. I directed. I was the DOP in Die
You don't
Hard.
have to sing during this
This
part.
is
It's
the
an
solo.
too late. It's too
Solo.
late.
It's an
Do some
instrumental.
scatting.
Skibbity boop. Jan de Bont. Bonte Jan. Jan de Boo. Listen, guys, it's been real fun as Jan de Bont.
5, 6, 7, 8.
I'm Jan de Bont. I directed Hunt for Red October. Woo! Yeah, that was a great film. Sean Connery, Alec Baldwin, together. Okay?
At last.
Submarines. He's a great guy. You know who else is a great guy? Jan de Bont. People don't give Jan de Bont enough credit. I'm Jan de Bont. I've made some of your favorite films, but you don't know my name. Jan de Bont. I'm Jan de Bont. I want the world to know. Jan de Bont say so. Jan de Bont. I'm Jan de Bont. I want the world to know. Come on now. Don't be ridiculous. Twister, that was a big film. Everyone loved that film when it came out, and then nowadays you're like Twister, and people are like, what? You know? I think you should give it another shot. Great special effects for the time, you know? And that's, you know, I'm still waiting on KFC to say, hey, we did it. We named it after you. And I did it. You know, I made Twister. Nobody thought about Twisters before I made Twister. And then everyone's like, oh, what about Twisters? That's Jan de Bont. That's Jan de Bont.
That's Jan de Bont.
That's Jan de Bont.
That's Jan de Bont.
Dutch filmmaker. I want the world to know Jan de Bont has a mo. Sometimes I shave it off. Sometimes I leave it and do whatever I want.
Thank you so much, Jan de Bont.
I'm Jan de Bont. Have a great time. Hey, listen. You guys are great.